Hi, right, I'm just going to show you this Octocopter, how it works, and everything that's here basically, which is everything you need to take to the field with you. So you've got the Octocopter here, there's a head tracker camera on the top. The camera moves with the goggles, so where you look with the goggles, the camera will track as you look. It's got an 8 amp battery with it, and the Turnkey 9X transmitter, which has been upgraded with new firmware. So to get started, I'm just going to stick the battery onto the base of the copter, and it's actually dead solid. That's just with a kind of a military grade Velcro. We're going to turn the transmitter on and then plug in the power to the main copter. So you can see the head tracking cameras come on. That's the motors all initialising. So now the transmitter, as you can see, has come up with Octocopter, so you know it's set up for the right aircraft. What I'll do next is I'll put the head tracking goggles on. If you power these up before you plug them into the transmitter, and try not to move them as you power these up, because if you're moving while you power it up, it treats that as normal and you can walk constantly move. So now I can plug these into the transmitter, and if everything's working right now, you can see as you move your goggles around, the camera will follow. Now, if you move your head too far, or if you get disoriented, you can look too far down or too far up or to each side, and the camera will lock back to the central position. So if I do that, you can see that's now locked to the central position. And in order to get your head tracker working again, you have to push the button right in the middle, which is also your white balance and contrast button. Push it down and hold it for 5 seconds. And then your head tracker should start working again. GPS for the on-screen display. So this gives you a direction home indicator on your goggles. This is the GPS unit for the NASA flight controller. This is basically your autopilot system, which maintains orientation for the helicopter. The USB cable to program the flight controller plugs in here. This is your head tracking camera, and as you can see, I've moulded the ESCs onto the arms so that it's just tidier and neater. The aerial for the video transmitter is on the forward arm, so that it's as far as possible away from the GPS systems and the antenna wire for the radio control. So to get the blow moulded dome off, I've just made 2 screws, which are just easier to undo by hand. And inside here you have the radio controlled receiver, which is just held on by Velcro. Actually, I'll just unplug the dome. This is the actual on-screen display. This is your video transmitter unit. It's a 600 milliwatt one, and this is the NASA flight control system. So now, with the GPS on, it will hold position even in a strong wind like this. Okay, what I'll just demonstrate now is how by flicking one switch on here, I can make the helicopter come home and land by itself. So it's really just proof of the GPS system working. The helicopter's now holding position. You should just about be able to see that. I just move it up into the skyline, you'll see it a little bit better. So you can see that's holding position now. So if I give it the command to come home, it will go to 60 foot high to clear any obstacles in between, and it will come back and land. I think the focus is working on that camera. So now it's going up to 60 feet. It's automatically orienting itself. It should land within a metre or two of where it took off. So it's probably landed within 2 metres of where it took off from, even in this wind.
Yeah.
And now I can switch it out of auto mode and take control back. Focusing still.
Yeah, I'm not zooming in though, there's no point.
No, there isn't. Okay, let me just talk you through the controls on the 9X. So obviously you've got your on-off button. If for any reason anything's out, it will give you an alert. Just make sure all of your throttle's down, all of your switches should start up or back, and then it'll be ready to start. So that's your kind of fail-safe starting position. So here's your throttle controller. This is yaw. In other words, it makes the aircraft spin around on its axis. And this side here is really the attitude of the helicopter at any time. So you can imagine the helicopter is perched on that stick. So if you push forward, it will lean forward, backward or side to side. It will actually lean whichever way you move that stick. Now to the other switches. This switch here, all the way up, is in GPS mode. So that means your GPS system is active. In the middle, your GPS mode is switched off. But your gyro stabilizers are still active. And then all the way down is fail-safe mode, and this will bring the aeroplane home from wherever it is. It will bring it home. You can switch that off at any point and regain control of the aircraft. The other two switches that are important are this one here, which is labelled as gear, and that is the same switch as this switch here, the throttle cut switch. Now those two do the same thing. If you flick either one of those, the aircraft will go into course lock mode, and you'll have to read the NASA instructions to figure out what that is. If you switch both of those switches, it will go into home lock mode. Now these modes are important for things like calibrating the compass. But yeah, the important thing to remember is it doesn't matter which one you use, either one will put it in course lock, and then both of them will put it in home lock. And of course all the way back, all the way up and back is everything off. Okay.